Hello everyone, Dullahan here with a Dawn of War 2 match of Elite Mod. Not sure what version it is, whatever the latest version is as of February 4th, 2021. This is a match between my boy Tex playing as Daemon Hunter Ordo Malleus versus the Tenso playing as the Chaos Sorcerer. So let's get it started. So it's been a long time since I've played or casted Dawn of War 2. I've been playing a little bit with this Daemon Hunter boy, but I haven't quite figured out how to play OM yet. So part of my reason for casting this is to see how other people play them. So he's kind of like a Farseer where he's like a support hero. So I've been trying to figure out how to play him really well, but I'm not quite there yet. So I'm curious to see what Tex does. And the Chaos Sorcerer has always been pretty classic. I'm not expecting him to have changed super much, but I could be surprised. To start off, this is on Calderis Desert, which is a new map to me. It seems to be a very competitive-oriented map. Both players getting victory points at the same time and getting the power nodes at the same time. Doombolt Blast taking off like 2/3 of the health of that strike squad is pretty brutal, if I do say so myself. And yeah, that squad is not going to lose a member, but they're going to spend a very long time at the base healing up. Daemon Hunter also can't really do much about these heretics. His ability is just like a slow aura, kind of like a time field, like a budget time field. But these Stormtroopers will actually do quite good damage against both the Sorcerer and the heretics. That Doombolt, though, managing to hit both those, both those guys half health. Chaos, Space Marines, and Heretics pushing this side of the map, taking Texas. Oh yeah, getting on this power node with a Heretic Aspiring Champion and gonna kill that node for sure. But Tex does drive the Sorcerer off over here. Maybe he can get some victory point pressure on these two. But he's gonna lose his natural power, and these guys are finally healed up, ready to go fight, but I'm pretty sure AC Heretics will beat them in a straight-on fight. Two casters duking it out over here. I'm not quite sure who will win this fight. I would guess it's probably the Daemon Hunter, because he does have more health and probably more damage. That's something I'm not certain of. Doombolt's almost doing big fat damage to those guys. We do have a Purgation squad coming out for Tex. That's like a flamethrower squad. This Daemon Hunter might actually go down here. He has lots of health, but he's going to take so much damage on retreat here. I could see this second squad of Heretics finishing him off. Almost certainly here. If not, he might just barely make it out of there. Yep, just barely makes it out of 30 health. Recapping over here at the Strike Squad. Interesting to see the Strike Squad being used to cap. Flamer Squad forcing one retreat here. Can probably force his other Heretic to retreat here. Sorcerer's got his classic Sword of the Flame, which boosts his damage, gives him a dot, and gives him an AoE damage over time. No war gear as of yet for the Daemon Hunter. No upgrades for anything on Texas side yet. Flipping over to the Eco. He is pretty low on economy because he hasn't been able to hold too much of the map. Although he does have a bit of a power income. Oh, never mind. Yeah, no. Chaos going for 3 gens. He's got a big advantage over here. I was going to say because he has these 3 nodes, maybe that's requisition. Look like power. Yeah, okay, never mind. Texas is behind on power as well. But he does have the potential to go bash these generators, theoretically. But I'm guessing we're going to see a Raptor squad from Tenso to kind of counter this Purgation squad. No upgrades on anything else yet. Not even the Grenady Boys. Oh no, he does have the Grenady Boys. It just doesn't show up as an upgrade. Okay, so both the Stormtroopers have their Grenady Boy upgrade. Adds another model, and then they get a little instant grenade. Probably a good choice. Yeah, is Raptors being bought by Tenso, so those are going to be a real pain for this Purgation squad to deal with. Strike Squad is okay against Raptors, especially if you get some war gear on the Daemon Hunter to either boost the melee damage or just phase shift the squad or something. A bit of a standstill. We got Tex kind of getting some map control here, getting both these power nodes. And Tenso is just doesn't even have any VPs, so Tex has the VP pressure. So it's about even on VPs at this point. Yeah, Raptors are out. Do we have a second Aspiring Champion? Doesn't look like it. Just the one Aspiring Champion. We do have Vestments of the Warp, so Teleporting Flame Sword. Glad to see that's not changed at all in the last 10 years or so. But, you know, I'm not surprised. So this is going to be an interesting engagement here. We don't have the upgrade for Strike Squad. They get a melee upgrade. That would help a ton against these Raptors. But I think this is going to be a forced retreat for Tex. He's going to bleed some models here on that Strike Squad, maybe. Oh, no, looks like all three of them got out unscathed. Decapping is now to a wreck over here. Oh, he does have the Phase Walker armor. So this gives him some health, and it gives him the Indomitable, which puts him into a stasis ability, which is pretty useful for escaping from melee or just getting into melee range of a bunch of range stuff. They can't really shoot you. Delaying tactics, upgrading the node here is going to make these heretics spend way longer than they want to killing that. Income-wise, slight lead for Tenso. He's probably going to get to tier 2 faster with all that power. He's going for a relatively light tier 1, just with a 1 aspiring champion, I think. And I don't think he even has Eternal War, so it's just Raptors, the AC, and the Sorcerer upgrades for him, whereas Tex looks like he's just getting these upgrades on the Stormtroopers, and then that's it. And oh, he's getting the Power Sword as well. So about even power expenditures. Heretics are going to force this Daemon Hunter off, I think, here. I don't think the Strike Squad can really stop this. Oh, not retreated in time. Might actually die to these Raptors here. He needed to retreat before they landed on him. Oh, but looks like he might still actually make it. Just barely, again, with 30 health. And that might actually force a retreat on these Heretics. Purgation Squad tied up by Sorcerer, and these Strike Stormtroopers might actually be in trouble here. Because, oh, maybe not, actually. We do have the course getting flame on the Raptors, and they're gonna jump on these guys and force a retreat. Strike Squad now at this point is probably overextended. Might be able to bleed a model here, maybe not. Even if they do though, they probably lose a model of their own. Okay, they're probably gonna lose a model here. So yeah, was that worth it? Probably not. They might actually die here. If the Sorcerer uses Consume and fires another Doom Bolt, he could actually finish that off. I don't think he's gonna do that. He's gonna let them get away. Tex somehow actually get into tier 2 faster than Tenso, which is curious. Tenso forgot the tech to tier 2. That's what it was. So map control going into Tenso's favor, decapping this wreck point. So Tex is limited to just this power gen and the VP and this wreck point. VP is 380 to 420, so big lead for Tenso. And that Swice Rod is going to be in the base for a very long time at this point. Daemon Hunter not really being super effective, to be honest, at this point. That Power Sword does drain energy, though, so very good against the Sorcerer, but he's just overextended here. He can't really engage here, but he is going to phase shift to walk out of here, I think. That's kind of what I mean, to escape from melee. Instead of retreating and taking a ton of bonus damage, you activate that, and then you can walk out. So I'm curious to see what the tier 2 picks are going to be for each player. I'm not 100% what units OM actually has in tier 2. I just know about the Purifiers and the, the Terminator Librarian. Oh, big gen bash here with these guys, and probably going to force his Heretic off if Tex is able to pay attention in time. Nope, not paying attention in time, so he might actually be forced to retreat unless these Stormtroopers can get these Heretics off his back. We do have a Rhino coming out for Tex. Probably put some pressure on all of Tenso's units. He doesn't have any anti-vehicle options at this time. Most likely, he's floating a ton of power. He could actually just buy a Dreadnought. Yep, he's just going to go for a Dreadnought at this point. Oh, we do have Blood Sacrifice, I think. What are these Blood Letters coming from? I thought it was Chaos Lord that had that. Oh, this is the Sorcerer's Blood Letter ability. I remember this now. So that's just spawning Blood Letters, forcing these guys to back away. And Daemon Hunter just going in there all by himself. It's kind of curious. It's brave. No ever work your choices from either player yet. Probably not going to see any more. And now I'm starting to wonder if the Strike Squad did actually get their upgrade or not. He didn't even reinforce it. He just sent it out here to go cap with no health. That's pretty brave. Rhino coming out. Rhino upgraded with the Heavy Bolter right away to put some damage pressure on these guys. That's going to be tough for Tenso to deal with. Although he does have the Dreadnought, he's probably just going to go for Missile. Or he might just leave it as the autocannon for now. That'll be good enough against the Rhino. Sorcerer turning invisible to try and cap this point, but doesn't really quite work after he decaps it. So this is a pretty even game so far. Tex does do a decent amount of generator damage. VP-wise is pretty even. The Rhino is a bit troublesome for Tenso to deal with. This Chaos Dread might actually be able to hit it in the butt here and do tons of damage, so just going to take a drink of water while we wait. We do have the second Aspiring Champion on the Heretics to give them more survivability, so that's good in middle game. Curious to see what Tex is going to follow up with. He does have enough requisition for quite a lot of Daemon Hunter abilities. Daemon Hunter has an ability that boosts range damage and range, which is pretty handy for a global. It's kind of like a super for the Emperor, and that's pretty good. But he doesn't really have too many squads. Like maybe Purgation could take advantage of that. Plus 7 range is pretty significant when you got Flamethrower. We do finally have an Aspiring Champion. No Eternal War, as far as I can tell, on these Chaos Space Marines. So that's an interesting choice. Eternal War is kind of like free bonus damage. But he has so many units, I think he has too much upkeep to really afford too much at this point. Whoopsies. So yeah, just forcing this Rhino off with this Chaos Dread. Not much Tex can do about that. He's building the Vindicare Assassin for some anti-vehicle, anti-infantry. That's a pretty good pick. Might have troubles if we see the Sorcerer teleport in on top of him, but who knows. So that Strike Squad actually still not reinforced, just capping and being forced out by the Raptors. Raptors getting their Aspiring Champions, so they will have a little bit of anti-vehicle damage, I believe. And we do have the Purgation Squad being upgraded with the PP lasers, Side Blasters, whatever they're called. So that does do some soft anti-vehicle damage. Yeah, this is about even here, I think. I think this Chaos Dread might actually be a bit trouble now with this anti-vehicle. I'm assuming that just makes him take more damage. I'm not actually sure what that Mark Target ability does. Daemon Hunter being quite aggressive, but not actually getting a whole lot done. He is only level 1, while the Sorcerer is like almost level 3. That was a fat Doom Bolt, doing tons of damage to all those squads that were bunched up. And yep, Sorcerer teleports in right on that Vindicare, forces the retreat, and that Rhino taking a ton of damage from that autocannon. Tex is definitely on the back foot here. I think actually that Dreadnought could just walk in there and start killing stuff, to be honest. But Tenso is decided to back off, finally getting Eternal War on his Chaos Space Marines. Definitely map control going in favor of Tenso. Getting this middle VP, getting this VP. Might be triple cap pretty soon here, which will put a ton of pressure on Tex. And I don't think he can really defend his generators. This Dreadnought is, where is it? It's in the middle of the map being repaired. I would like to see some sort of Sorcerer Shrines, honestly. Just to kind of put some pressure on, like, if Tex sends out that Strike Squad again with one guy to go cap, which he probably is going to do, that might actually kill him, or at least force a retreat. I know the Doombolt damage from the Shrine isn't, like, the best, but it's not the worst either. Still just the Power Sword and the Armor of Fortitude on Daemon Hunter. And Sorcerer doing the same old build he always does. Yeah, those guys do decent soft AV. I don't think it's enough on their own, but with the Vindicare there, it might actually be enough. And Raptors jumping in on the Rhino, but not... the squad kind of got stuck there for a moment. Might actually do some big hits on this Rhino, but I don't know. It looks like he teleported in the Dreadnought to try and finish this Rhino, but I don't think he's going to do that. Be able to pull that off. He needs to just shoot it, I think. He's just... Oh, he might actually kill it here. The Vindicare can't really stop him. Might actually be worth just getting the missile at this point, honestly, just to really stop any sort of vehicle play. Yeah, there's that Chaos Shrine I was kind of mentioning would be a good idea, because that's just going to make it a little bit harder to capture this. Oh, yeah, he kills the Rhino and pulls back, but might actually die here. Oh, Vindicare being tied up by the Sorcerer, that's pretty deadly. If he just turns to shoot the Vindicare, he might actually kill it there. And Strike Squad just capping stuff one guy at a time. It's a pretty brave thing to do, all things considered. Daemon Hunter might actually go down here to the Chaos Dread. Oh, yeah, using Phase Shift at the right time there. So that is good. Level 2, but he's sticking around there, though, so if it was me, I'd start punching him right now. He probably would die. But I guess he's afraid of dying, losing their Dreadnought. You can see Tenso starting to float power here. This is the problem of getting 3 gens. You get that Dreadnought slightly earlier, but you can't really spend the power fast enough. It's one of those things where upgrading units is generally more economical than buying new ones because of upkeep. You can get more value for your money that way. Plasma guns coming on both these Stormtroopers is going to be a real significant amount of range damage coming out. Chaos Dreadnought also coming out, not Chaos, Grey Knight Dreadnought coming out. Grey Knight Dreadnought's going to put some pressure. It starts out with a heavy flamer, which is pretty cool. That'll be pretty powerful against the heretics, but I assume he's going to upgrade it to the melee and just be able to push chaos off the map whenever he wants. But we will see. Sorcerer teleporting in on these stormtroopers. Gonna force a retreat there. This text is really just not reinforcing this strike squad. So there's the dreadnought coming out. Yeah, there's the melee upgrade coming out. I'm glad to see that I am somewhat psychic still, even though I haven't played the game in a long time, but I kind of predict what you would need at any given point. We're reaching the limitations of the UI to show me all the units, so I'll have to be a bit more careful checking those out. Good time for this guy to start shooting the Sorcerer, I think. I'm really surprised to see that the Strike Squad isn't really being reinforced or upgraded. I do really like their Snare ability that they get, and also the Energy ability is really handy for the Vinegar or the Daemon Hunter even when he uses his abilities, which he's not really using his slow at all, which would be really helpful to catch this Dreadnought. Sorcerer teleporting in, but that's a little brave because he's going to take a ton of damage from all these pew 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 lasers over here, and might actually go down to this. Yep, getting killed by the Grey Knight Dreadnought. Tier 3 coming out for Tenso. That's an interesting choice considering he's actually at a pretty significant disadvantage at this point. In terms of his army composition, he's starting to... There's such a mass of ranged firepower here. But he does have a bit of a VP lead, to say the least. Really struggling to finish off this strike squad, though. But he might actually get it now with these Raptors in position here. Grey Knight Dreadnought, maybe a little overextended. I would really want to see the missile launcher upgrade on this Dread, or Mark of Khorne even would be good. Mark of Khorne Dreadnought would probably beat the Grey Knight Dreadnought, even at this health with the correct ability. And we do have a Terminator Librarian coming up for Tex. So that'll be nice. Oh, that is a big fat overcharge damage. Might actually kill this Aspiring Champion with this Dreadnought here. That would be pretty brutal to his map control. Just barely escaping with 6 health there. Because it needs these heretics not just to fight, but also to repair his Chaos Dreadnought. Assuming he wants to repair his Chaos Dreadnought. Where's that Terminator Librarian? There he is. So I'm not entirely sure what his abilities are, and I can't really see them. I just know he has Smite and probably some sort of like AoE damage. Strike Squad is still just capping with no health. I'm surprised. I think Tenso could really just push Tex off the map at any time. He just needs... He's kind of floating resources at this point. Probably just going for... I'm not sure what he would be going for here. Maybe a Great Unclean One would be a good choice. I don't think Tex has enough anti-vehicle to deal with that, especially with Warship being an option. Grey Knight getting his energy upgrade and ability to infiltrate a squad. I don't know if that's going to be super useful, but maybe we'll see Tex use that for something. I mean, presumably you could just infiltrate the Dreadnought. I don't know if that affects vehicles or not. Sometimes infiltration affects vehicles, like with Tzeentch Warship. And sometimes it doesn't, like with the Inquisitor's infiltration button that I forget the name of. So Tenso is getting up there in Requisition. Saving for the Great Unclean One in this sort of situation is not the best choice because it's going to take several minutes to get that out, whereas a Predator could be out like right now doing stuff. As could a Mark of Khorne. Not upgrading this at all is an interesting choice to say the least. And no more... Oh yeah, Sorcerer is still dead. Yeah, so he's saving up probably for the Great Unclean One. Dreadnought is going to come over here and hit generators. That's not super useful at this point, honestly. But I guess what else are you going to do with it, really? Anti-vehicle squad's in position. You're going to do a ton of damage to this guy real quick. Yeah, it's pretty fast. It's like 300 DPS or so. That's pretty scary. And these heretics are decapping the VP. So Tenso still has a VP lead, but Tex has the map control at this point. So we're going to see a triple cap pretty soon here for Tex, which also means that this Great Unclean One, by the time that actually comes out, which is not going to be for another 100 requisition, I think, is 800, 200 or something. By the time that actually comes out, is it really, is it going to make a difference? I'm not so sure, because he just doesn't have the map control. Because remember, it takes about a minute or so to actually build the Great Unclean One. So we're looking at like 2 minutes or so of triple caps. That's pretty scary. Terminator Librarian trying to smite these Raptors but missing it. But this Vinegar Assassin is being forced off. And this Dreadnought is just bashing this generator with the Stormtroopers. So Tex is in a pretty demanding lead. I think Tenso had a real opportunity to get... I think the mistake was going to tier 3 waiting for this Great Unclean One. You can see how low his requisition income is, only plus 191. That's just upkeep. And he is building it now, but it's going to take another minute for that to build. And Tex is going tier 3, going to get some Terminators or something at that point. I'm not sure what Grey Knights really have in tier 3, but I'm assuming Terminators of some variety. And the triple cap is up, and you got to remember there was a bit of a meme back in the day called Bane Blade can't cap, and what that means is even if you get the Bane Blade out, it's not going to capture the VPs. You need infantry to capture the VPs. So in order to win in this sort of situation, you don't even need to kill anything. You just need to knock stuff back, force retreats, and as long as you have more VPs going than your opponent, it's a pretty easy win. Yeah, I really think he needed Mark of Khorne on his Chaos Dread like an hour ago, because I would have let him just force this Dreadnought off the map. Great Unclean One is almost done, about 60%. Sorcerer is still not replaced, can't really afford it. His requisition income is going to be so low once that Great Unclean One comes out. Oh, that's some sort of knockback AoE effect on a Terminator Librarian, which is forcing the Raptors to retreat. Pretty demanding map control lead for Tex at this point. Once he got this Grey Knight Dreadnought out, this Chaos Dreadnought kind of became useless. He should have got either the Missile or Mark of Khorne. I would have just said Mark of Khorne, because Mark of Khorne's good against all this business. And Great Unclean One is out, wobbling on over there. Maybe going to flesh hook the Daemon Hunter, but Daemon Hunter's just going to walk out with a phase shift. And Chaos Dreadnought being destroyed there. Triple cap, 80 VPs left. This is going to be a very short game, and this is the exact situation I'm talking about. When you wait for this super unit, you're not going to cap the VP with a super unit. So I'm pretty sure this is it for Tenso. I think he kind of threw it away by not upgrading that Chaos Dreadnought with something. I think even a Predator coming out would have came out so much earlier and would have let him wrestle map control away from this thing. Tex has a lot of requisition too, potential to use the orbital to stop some sort of cap at some point. That's probably the wisest decision. The triple cap's already down to 30 VP, so yeah, Great Unclean One comes out and does nothing. So this is kind of a lesson in, if you want to wait for the super heavy unit, you really need to be in a more commanding map control position to pull that off. Especially with how slow this guy is, without Warship to speed him up. Like, that's why the Chaos Lord tends to work best with the Great Unclean One. Is because you can just speed him up, let him run up to stuff a lot quicker. Because his damage is pretty good, but it's too little too late at this point. And yeah, we're going to have Tex capture this VP over here, start ticking down, and then we only got 19 VPs for Tenso at this point. So, so it's interesting to see the Daemon Hunter in action. I don't think Tex did a ton with it. He did replace it with the Force Rod at some point, which gives him kind of some crowd control abilities. But mostly he just used him to cap with the... yeah, even Tex says going for Goo was a mistake. Yep. Agree with that one. Anyway, thanks for watching this cast of Dawn of War 2 Elite Mod. I'm going to do more probably in the future, but it's first time cast in a long time, especially this game. I don't quite know all the Grey Knight business, or even just a lot of the new units. It's been, I don't know, 5 or 6, probably longer. I can't remember the last time I played Elite Mod like somewhat regularly, probably like 2013, 2014, 2015, maybe? So it's been a long time since I played this, so I'm excited to get back into Dawn of War 2. Been having some fun learning the Grey Knights, learning the Daemon Hunter. The new Grey Knight heroes are really fun to see something different. Kind of makes me want more heroes for other races like Eldar. I always wanted like a, what was his name, Davian Fuel with the Heavy Bolter in the campaign. I always wanted that to be like a Space Marine hero, kind of like an Avitus Heavy Bolter hero. Kind of like the Mech Boy, but like Space Marines. I think that'd be cool. But I digress. Anyway, thanks for watching.